78.6 FM Yomaton, positive vibes with Winsome. It is a great Saturday, beautiful Saturday here in Okinawa. It's wonderful. And to make the day that much better is I'm joined by a really, really special person in my world, man. Mr. Double D himself, David De Niro. How you doing, man? Hey, I got to make sure I turn your mic on, man. Go ahead and say something.
Yep.
Hey, you're in there now.
All right, man.
Let's
Thanks.
go.
Appreciate it.
How's your day going, man?
It's going well. It's a nice day out, kind of toasty.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, right, compared to last weekend?
Super beautiful. This morning, I ran a little bit.
Yeah.
You gave a little speech yesterday to our team on
That's right.
on base, and I was inspired to run.
So let me ask you a question about that, man.
Yeah.
Last week was rainy.
Yep.
It was an ugly weekend. What did you do today that was different since the sun was out shining on us?
Huh. Well, I think I ran.
Yeah, what else?
So,
Is that it?
Yeah, I ran. I've been walking around a little bit more. Again, like listening to your speech yesterday, it kind of just gave me a chance to kind of take some time to appreciate things a little bit more.
Nice.
So
what he's talking about is yesterday we talked about some physical resiliency at our day job, right, Dave?
Yep.
So we talked about some physical resiliency. Dave, I just want to check and make sure I got the right one on, man. Go ahead and say ABC.
ABC, 1, 2, 3.
All right, we're back.
All right.
Cool. So we talked about physical resiliency, man, and that will be, of course, the topic that we were covering for this quarter at our day job. And but today, me and Double D are going to talk about some things.
We're here.
I got some questions with you, man.
All right, man. Let's do it.
I got some questions for you.
I'm a little scared.
I know. That's why I did it this way.
I'm intimidated.
So I was going to wait to the second segment. I told Dave we don't have a normal conversation because I love having convos with Dave. We keep it real, 100%. Of course, we got to call each other by different titles in the daytime. But one of the most down-to-earth, genuine people I know. Dave, question for you, man. What are you watching right now? I don't care.
Right.
Netflix, Amazon TV. What are you watching?
Okay, I'm not as prepared for this conversation as I wanted to be, but I will say Netflix lately, I've been watching some Korean shows.
Okay.
So have you ever heard of Vincenzo?
Vincenzo. No.
Vincenzo. Yeah. So just a brief summary. Basically, it's a Korean guy.
Yeah.
That was raised in Italy,
Okay.
and suddenly he's back in Korea, and now he's using his mafia skills to basically get at some corrupt organizations. It's actually very cool. Yeah.
Action, just full on action? Or is it more?
Action, mainly drama, but there's some action here and there. Yeah.
So it's more of a drama show.
It is, but I think it's something everyone can appreciate.
So Dave likes.
It's not as exciting as Marvel, all the Marvel movies that you like. But
Yes.
it's a good show. It really is.
All right, so you're watching Vincenzo.
Yeah, that's
What else?
what I'm watching now.
Uh-huh.
Another Korean show that I watched was Vagabond.
Vagabond.
It's some spy stuff. Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, basically a Korean spy on the continent of Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, check it out, man. It's good.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Netflix recommendations
Yeah.
from Dave is Vincenzo, and what's the second one?
Vagabond.
Vagabond.
It's really cool, man.
All right, so movies have been back. The theater opened
Yes.
back up. Some
Yep.
things you can buy and purchase.
Yep.
Is there anything that you got a chance to see recently?
No,
Oh my!
I know that's very anticlimactic.
So as we get started, I'm about to kick him out of the booth.
Yeah.
That quick.
All right, it was a good show. Thanks for inviting me, man. That was the fastest interview I've ever done. I appreciate you.
So there's a lot of great movies came out, man. I know you've seen it on the markers. I just watched The Conjuring Part 3.
Yes, so horror movies.
That was the most recent on the drop. Now, me, I try to, me, man. I always like to fill my head with positive vibes. But every once in the blue
Horror
moon,
movies aren't really that positive, are
not
they?
at all, not at all. I have it's like a sweet tooth for scary stuff.
Right,
man.
right.
So every once in the blue moon,
We need some of that.
yes, the Conjuring series comes out, man, and that's one of the few movies in the past 20 years that actually spooked me out a little bit.
Are you one of those guys that you'll wait till like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
You turn off all your lights.
Yeah,
You turn on a horror movie,
yeah.
and you're just there to freak the
Freak myself out.
S out of yourself?
All right, so I'm a grown man, but
Okay.
if I'm in the room, I do bring Scooby in there when the lights are off
Well, that's good.
and the scary movie's playing.
It's not that scary then. But-
Scooby protects me.
That's good, man. I don't really like to just, scare myself on movies. I never really just choose to do that. But I know some people, they like to do that,
It's a different, I
Oh.
guess it's a different I don't know, man, get for different feel, for all the comedies we watch and all the action shows we watch. Just to throw a little spookiness in there, a little scary movie. But again, I limit it. So, right? Because I know you go down that little rabbit hole. For some people, they just keep watching scary. Then they want to watch something scarier, and then it just goes bad. So, I always know what series I enjoy. And this one was a lot different than the previous ones. It was the Conjuring series. If anybody listening has watched those, normally it's all about, the couple and them going and possessed items and then doing whatever their thing is, right? This one took us on a different storyline. I won't ruin it for the folks listening, but it was very creative, very imaginative and creepy, as the rest of them. But another movie or show that came out, season 2 of Lupin. Have you seen the first season of that?
I have not seen the first season of Lupin, but you know what that's based on.
Yes.
It's based on it. Okay, all right.
Go ahead, please share for the
No,
audience.
it's based on an anime.
Hi.
Which is a very hot. Okay, no. Yeah, but it's based on a very popular anime. So,
Hi.
But you know what's crazy?
What's that?
I actually have not seen Lupin.
So
even the anime.
This is gonna be the second time I kick him out of the booth.
Yeah. Well.
So
Thanks
the
again.
Lupin storyline, of course, season 2 just started, and this is, of course, not our normal. I have a guest, so we're not going on our normal topics. We're throwing that away for a few. I'll jump back
Sorry
into
about that, folks.
Second segment, but I got excited. Let me tell you guys how long I've been trying to get Dave on the show. All right, let me share with my teammates here in Okinawa how hard it is to get this man. It's like trying to call my congressman. So when I was talking to him a month and a half ago, we had a date set.
We did.
And I showed up.
I was here mentally. Mentally, I was here.
I was here the whole time.
Spiritually, I was here.
Mentally,
I was supporting.
Physically.
From afar.
But
But I'm happy to be here. I mean, I finally made it, and I'm leaving shortly, in the next month or so.
I wasn't talk about that yet.
Oh, my bad. My bad, man.
See how he jumps ahead? The second segment, I want to ask those questions, remember?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I have some questions for him. So I didn't let him prepare. We didn't practice it, but I threw some questions that I might ask. He's ahead, of course. Now he wants to show up. Okay, I'm just saying. Now you want to show up. Dude.
Thanks for patting me not doing well in this interview. That's good.
Hey, I'm so glad to have you, man. So it's a beautiful day in Okinawa.
It is.
We're talking about movies you've seen, what you've been doing, what you've been up to. Next segment. Actually, you know what, Dave? I ain't going to wait, man.
Here we go.
What are some things?
Uh-oh.
Let's go with 3, right? Give me 3 things. What is something that you've wanted to do that you haven't been able to do yet?
Yeah, well, I think they're just like everyone else here in Okinawa. Yeah. I've been wanting to travel to other countries because, we're next to Taiwan. We can go to Thailand. Yeah. But, how it goes with COVID. Yeah. We haven't had much opportunity to travel. Right. So the farthest I could go was to Fukuoka on Kyushu. Okay. So that was one thing that I was able to do that I enjoyed, but I have not been able to go travel as much as I wanted to. I think everyone came to Okinawa expecting to be able to travel, but just didn't play out that way, man.
Right. And you've been here how long?
Been here since 2019, summer. Wow. I remember getting off that plane and it was just super humid and every part of me was sweating. And that wasn't fun.
Summertime 2019, everything was sweating, this humidity.
Yes, that's right.
You're about to leave us. What cities, whatever you want to say, I know you can't mention the base, but where are you going after this? What states?
Well, I'm going to D.C.
D.C.
Yeah. I won't be on a base, actually. I'll be going to school. It's going to be nice.
Awesome.
Nice little break.
How long is the school?
About a year. I'll be learning some Turkish.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be cool. If anything, it's kind of a nice little break.
Nice.
From how busy it is here. You know more than most that this place is very busy.
AKA Beast.
Yeah, when it comes to our day jobs, yes.
Day job, they call it the Beast. Yeah. And man, we're going to hate to see. What is something, hate to see you go. Hate to see you. Hate to see you leave us, man. What is something else that you haven't had a chance to do that you want to do while you were here?
You know what I have not done?
What's that?
And a lot of people are going to hate me for this. I have not gone snorkeling yet. Did you do? Have you done snorkeling?
I have.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Island.
I have not.
And I can't even swim. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to boost him out the booth again.
Yeah.
This 3 boost, man.
Strike 3. That's strike 3 already.
So what has happened that's kept you from snorkeling?
I don't think anything has stopped me from snorkeling. I think I just haven't taken that opportunity.
So we got a few weeks left.
We do.
So if y'all heard it, everybody, 78.6 FM Yoma Time, Positive Vibes of Winsome. We got 5 minutes to the break. But listen to me, man. Me and Dave got to go snorkeling. So I'm going to post whenever, and y'all get to see Dave's muscles. When we go snorkeling, I'm going to hold him accountable as a friend.
I'm down.
A
Let's do it.
wingman. You cannot. I can't do nothing about traveling in COVID. But snorkeling?
Let's go.
Snorkeling? All right, one more
I don't
thing.
know, man. Those stonefish. I don't want to step on some stonefish.
And yeah, there's been some things going on around these shores. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
beautiful
it's
out
been
there.
crazy.
But I seen that movie. I don't.
Yeah.
I saw that movie.
You see that video of the sharks?
I did.
The sharks at Okuma?
On the shore.
Yeah, man.
That was awesome.
That was
beautiful.
interesting. Yeah.
So, Dave De Niro, my friend, wingman, day job teammate, hasn't been snorkeling, hasn't been able to travel.
Yep.
What's something else you haven't been able to do since you've been
Something else I haven't been able to do. You know, I've been wanting to run a lot more than I have been.
Okay.
But I've been running recently.
Nice.
But, you know, when you're on this island, you think that you're going to be running every day. You're like, man, I have all the motivation to run. Why wouldn't I want to see the sunset every night? Right. And that hasn't been the case.
Hasn't been happening.
So that's one thing. Yes.
Okay.
That's a third thing.
So you didn't get to run as much as you wanted to.
Yeah.
You didn't go snorkeling.
Yep.
And you didn't get to travel.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Whew, my chest. All right, so that's cool.
Okay.
For the listeners in Okinawa, 78.6 FM Yomatan.
Okay.
Tell me 3 things, positive vibes of Winsome, that you really enjoyed about the island while you were here.
Okay, so before COVID, pre-COVID, I always loved getting out of my house, walking down the street, and just going to a random izakaya.
What?
You know what izakaya?
No, what's that?
It's basically like a little restaurant / bar.
Okay.
They got all the sides you can order.
Yeah.
You got all the drinks you can order.
Nice.
It was just cool to kind of walk all over the city and just go to a random izakaya, pop a squat, and just order some food and a beer. Like, that was one of the best things when I first got here, was just being able to wander onto the street and find izakaya. They're like everywhere, man.
Wow.
But yeah, obviously that's not really an option.
Now with COVID,
Yeah.
So that was one thing you did enjoy when you first got here. What else?
Another thing I love doing was just driving around the island. So, I mean, I guess after a few weeks of driving on the island, you probably see most everything that you can. But I love just being able to get in my car on a Friday or Saturday and just drive up the island, go along the coast. It's awesome, man.
It is.
One of the places that I didn't know was here. I don't know if you knew this. There's a place called Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology. Have you heard of it?
I haven't.
So basically, there's this huge, I guess, college that has master's programs and doctorate programs.
Wow.
There's like a small contingent of international folks from all over the world that are there just getting their degree, and it's this cool college right on top of a little mountain there. Wow. Overlooks the ocean. That's one place that's really, really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just wandering around, you see stuff like that, you know?
So basically being able to just explore, get out there and do random things.
Yeah, I love to just kind of drive around. Anytime I'm at a new place, or whenever I move, I will always just take the next few weeks to drive around wherever.
Nice.
Like 2 hours north and south, wherever. Yep.
That's so.
Yep.
Getting out, what do you call it? Izakaya?
Izakaya. Yeah.
Izakaya. Getting out, going up to the Science
when
Institute
COVID,
of Technology.
Yeah. When COVID ends, you need to go to an izakaya, and I'll.
What was the third one?
The third one. Okay, that's.
You said the college izakaya, and there was another one. Oh, you said it's driving around the island.
Driving around the island.
Nice. And I'm gonna tie into that a little bit, man, if you don't mind, into the next segment, because a lot of that comes with being able to appreciate where we're at, what's around us, and being grateful for those opportunities to see these things, man. Right. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that we may never see again, and that's probably the setup. Like coming from a frozen island right before this to this island, I hit, complete opposites. But it's definitely an opportunity when we are driving around here just to reflect, take it all in. I tell the airmen, or should I say the day job teammates, soak it all in, man, because you may not come back. What's the possibility?
Yeah, I mean, you hear these stories of people going to certain locations and never leaving their dorm room, never leaving the base or wherever it is.
Exactly.
And this is an awesome opportunity. And I think this goes into the third thing, is that the people of Okinawa are awesome.
They are.
I would say for sure, it seems that the people of Okinawa are very warm and welcoming. And when you go to mainland Japan, it's a little bit more distant. Like if you go to Tokyo, I mean, a bunch of people, you'll be walking through a crowd and, people aren't saying a word toward each other. So I think that's one thing that's very interesting about Okinawa, is that the culture is very warm and welcoming. Yeah. Nice.
Hey, guys, we're coming down to our break, but we talked about what Dave liked to do. Dave De Niro, my guest today. Going in the second segment. Be right back. Positive Vibes with Winsome. 78.6 FM Yomitan. I'm back with my teammate David De Niro, who
Hello.
I'm going to miss dearly. Been one of my solid rocks foundation since I've been here. Go-to guy. Probably again, I mentioned one of the most genuine people I've ever dealt with during this experience. So I'm going to miss you, but I do have a question for you. If you can do this entire tour,
Here we go.
all over again,
Okay.
what would you do different?
Dang. So that's a tough question. Something that I think a lot of people can relate to, because this is awesome. This is fun. But this, even this interview right now, is just another part of our week. And just like you, most of my week is my day job.
Yeah.
Right. So if I were to do anything over again, I think the one thing I try to change and do differently is try to figure out how to better interact and know people in my leadership, so I can figure out what kind of makes them tick and maybe better sync up with how they see things.
Gotcha.
Because I think that's something that we all kind of struggle with, right? Like when you're working on a big team, you got a lot of different personalities.
Right.
So you got to figure out how what makes people tick and how to work with that versus against that. Not that I was trying to, do anything against anyone. It's just sometimes you got different personalities. So that's hard to manage. And it's particularly hard to manage personalities up, right? Yeah. So that's one thing I think I try to tackle again to do a little bit better.
Gotcha.
That's a very general answer, but
it's respected, man. I like that one. So basically it's trying to align, and anytime you're working in any job, you're trying to align what your boss's goals are, right?
Yeah.
Or what your team's goal is. And sometimes what you're trying to do and trying to accomplish doesn't always vibe or align with that. And it might be off a little bit crooked from what's not crooked, but out of line from where the direction everyone's trying to go. However, you get there. Maybe bumpy, but you get there. And I'll tell you, man, just from working with you and everyone I know and share communications with, we've all seen you work. We've all seen your heart, man. And we know that you care about what you do. And like I said, you're going to be missed. I know the most you've moved around twice since I've known you. And, each time I've had an opportunity, weirdly, right? We don't even work in the same, but to still be able to work with you, even when you're in different sections. Somehow, you're in that seat? I still got to deal with you. Oh, you're in this seat? I still got to deal with you. But it's been a blessing, man.
It has. So I think one thing that's really cool is that everyone has their own inner circle, and I told you this before I came here that I see you as one of those folks kind of in my inner circle. So there are a few people whose advice, mentorship, feedback, I think I actually take to heart, and you're one of those people.
Thank you.
The crazy thing is we haven't really actually hung out that much.
No.
So it's crazy that we could kind of be kind of on the same wavelength for some of these things. And I think if I could add a fourth thing to the list of things I wish I would have done, it would have been to be able to hang out with you more, just to kind of pick your brain on some things, because I know you got a story just like everyone else, and I've privately I've talked to you about some things, and you have a really cool story.
Thanks,
so
man.
that's one thing I wish I could have done more, but there isn't an endless amount of time.
Right.
So yeah.
And that's the thing that sucks too about these tours, right? Especially when you always think we have more time.
Yes.
Thank you for the segue. See, he knew where I was going.
Yeah, man.
So one thing that Dave said that was real cool, and one thing I wanted to tie into this whole discussion today, we've been talking about faith and gratitude, right? And Mr. G's going to come. Mr. Garrick's coming back, I believe next week or the week after. He's
the
going
myth,
to talk
the
about
man, the legend.
Man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Scott Garrick.
I wonder if he's watching right now.
I'm going to send him the clip. If he ain't watching, he's going to see it. Yeah. So I think he's going to talk about courage, right? And having the courage to do things, say things, and be who you are. I was reading something and listening to somebody right before we came in here, man. I believe it was actually Tupac. They had a little snippet from Pac talking.
The warrior poet. The
warrior poet, right? The rose that grew from concrete. So what he said was, the reason that he's been successful, after everything he went through, all the pain, all the rain struggles, it was because he never stopped believing in himself. He never stopped reflecting on what he could have done different and trying to make changes, right? And of course, this is subtext in what he said, but basically what he boiled down to is he was always focused on trying to be better than yesterday. The question I asked Dave was, what would you do different? reason why he can just flow that and say that is because those are things that he's probably reflected on and thought about, on his own time. This is something I would do different if I can have that day back again.
Yeah.
So with being grateful for having a new day, and I've said this before, of course on different platforms, but I say it again here. Every day is a new day to start over. Every day is a brand new start. So when you put your feet on that ground, you wake up, open your eyes, you can choose who, what, where, why. You get to choose who you want to be for that day. No matter what kind of personality, we talked about that, people may have got away from or thought you were the day before, you can walk in completely different the next day. Yeah. No matter what the storyline was with you the day before, you can be whoever you want to when you wake up. You just have to own it, call it, claim it, and be it. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in the day, right? This ties into, Dave, all the stuff that we do, how we start our day, what our morning routine is. People get caught up in the day. And so they think whatever happens to them, say our day job boss comes at us sideways, teammates throw a wrench in our day, we allow our day to flow with whatever's happening instead of taking control and just understanding that you can only control what is within your control. One thing that I teach my folks, right, is, hey, man, and if she's listening, she knows. I just had this talk with her on Friday, one of my wingmen. I said, hey, that's crazy what just happened to you. Me and Dave said, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. But what can you actually do about it? What is within your control right now?
Yeah.
And she thought about it, which I love because I saw her take a step back, do like on Scrubs when JD looks up to the right. And she did that. And she goes, and she listed it. 3 things that were the only things in this entire scenario that were in her control. And little sis Jalissa, if you're listening, I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'm going to send this to you after. But she thought about it. She broke it down, which let me know that what she's doing is she's reflecting on the situation. She's internalizing it. And she's focusing only on what is within her control. What does that do, Dave, when you focus on only what's within your control instead of things that are all over the place?
Yeah, I like that message because there are only so many things that are within our control. And one thing we can't control is how people react to us, what people think of us or how they judge us. So I like thinking about what is within our control because it's like the ultimate sense of ownership. Right. You can choose how to react to something. You can choose how to approach a situation. I think it forces people to be introspective. Yep. That's a skill not everyone has. I would say most people are probably not that good at introspection.
Right.
So I think if you focus on things within your control and you realize those are things that you can action, then I think there's a sense of peace to that. There's a sense of acceptance of whatever happens beyond that. It's not necessarily within your power. So, right. Yeah, I like the ownership piece of that.
What was the phrase I like to use, man? It's not what happened to you. It's what you do next.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to just respond, react. And you mentioned there being retrospective, self-awareness, understanding who you are. We talked about something yesterday. So you mentioned the physical resilience piece.
Right.
There was a piece I didn't mention while I was up there talking for 5 minutes because I saw y'all with the timer and telling me to cut and get out of there. No, I'm kidding. They didn't do that to me. But I was telling everybody, how does this sound? So we did the boom, boom, clap, right?
Yeah, I like that.
I said, hey, so me doing it by myself, it's not so much, right?
Yeah.
But when we did it as a team, it was powerful.
Yeah.
When we did it as
demonstrates
a group,
that, yeah.
It was loud. It roared through the hallways, right?
Right.
And you felt it. Everybody in the room, Dave, you mentioned it. It was like, wow, all the attention was on the moment.
And to be honest, I told you this too. To be honest, I was surprised that many people were engaged with it.
Yes.
Because you think it's something so simple, and some people are just like, that's silly. Well, I don't need to do that. But when you have a whole group of people doing that you naturally just tend to kind of go in with the group.
Yes.
But then it forces like an actual change in your mental space. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that's what I like about the physical resilience thing is that when you force yourself to move physically, your mental space can't be what it just was. If you're just laying in bed and you're not moving,
dropping it.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Drop them lines.
Hey, man.
You see how you just came and just dropped the mic in here? You're moving. You're doing something.
Yep.
And that was the key to yesterday, man. So I'm going to shift a little bit. We talked about being able to be self-aware, understanding what is within your control and focusing on that one thing tying it into physical resiliency, firing it in and tying it together when it comes to being grateful. When we get that new day and we wake up, even if the day before was horrible, it was disappointing, it wasn't what we wanted it to be, that doesn't mean that that one day becomes your week, right? We can't let that 1 week become your month. Can't let that 1 month become your year. Can't let that 1 year become your tour, which is what happens when people allow negativity just to take over their lives. So in that situation, we're talking about how you wake up, how you gratitude, moving and doing something. If you're focused on change, the change that's within your control, if you're focused on that, we talked about physical. I mentioned how we have, and I'm going to talk about them in our third segment, individuals who don't have all their limbs. They don't have all the same mental control that they had because of stuff that's happened to them in their lives. So it affects their mental health, right? And then you got this room full of healthy people, for the most part. We don't know the stories.
Yeah.
So taking that for granted, what you have and what you still have the capability of doing, and you have folks with limitations doing more because they're more grateful, because they appreciate the time, the space, and what they still have, what is still within their control. I can still move. If I can look up, then I'm going to get up because I can. Versus, I feel like moving. Yesterday was a bad day. I hate it. I hate the other side of that. No. You still have the opportunity to change. Whatever is within your control to change. And when you do that, and I say this right on time, when you do that, you're taking your power back. And that's what it all boils down to when you focus on what's within your control. Because when you don't, and you're focused on everything that's going on outside of that, you're powerless. And you're zoning in on all the things that you cannot control, that's outside of your power, and you feel more and more useless, worthless, and powerless because you're focused on the wrong things. So if you didn't take anything away from that segment, it's not about faith, and it's not about, what's the other one I got? Faith and gratitude. Yes, it is ties into gratitude because you have to be grateful for what you have and who you are and the opportunities you have every day to write a new page. But what it boils down to is taking your power back and understanding that no matter what's going on in your life, you can only control what's within your control. 78.6 FM Yoma Time, positive vibes with Winsome. I'm here with Dave. We'll be right back after this break. .6 FM. I threw the film on just so y'all caught it. He was adjusting his pants and his shirt, and I was already back on YouTube. So YouTube, got him.
Got him.
78.6 FM, positive vibes of Winsome. I am joined by my wingman, David De Niro, who I'm going to miss dearly. Last segment, we talked about controlling and focusing on controlling only what's within your control. And stop allowing yourself to feel powerless to try to handle and maintain and manage things that you can't change. With that being said, third segment is always dedicated to the Air Force Wounded Warrior War Team, Wellness and Resiliency. My family, we just posted, which was awesome, Major Tim Nail, our teammate from Kadena Air Base. He is the director of psychological activities there, and he taught emotional intelligence for the main Wounded Warrior page this last week, which was posted, which was awesome. Really happy that he shared his time and his knowledge with us. Emotional intelligence, man. You can't.
Yes.
We do what we do. Doing 23 years. How many years you been doing this, Dave?
10 years.
10 years of this, 33, of dealing with people, personalities, day to day, and to not understand emotional intelligence. And let me rewind real quick if you don't know what that is. EQ, emotional intelligence, is what we use to measure our emotional knowledge base. You know, how smart we are emotionally, basically. IQ is intellectual knowledge, right? Book smarts, how smart you are, what you can spit out. But EQ starts with the same thing we were talking about last segment, self-awareness.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, being able to motivate yourself, being able to be self-aware. What are those cues that you know if somebody says or does something to you that's going to spark you? How do you take care and prepare yourself for those social interactions? What about when somebody you know is a negative person is always negative? How do you respond to that person daily to keep yourself from going down a rabbit hole of negativity? That's emotional intelligence, being smart enough and wise enough to know how to maneuver around things and knowing yourself so that you're not trapping yourself in situations. What's the importance, Dave, throughout your day job and even at home, man? Because, you know, emotional intelligence with relationships, family, friends. How has emotional intelligence, having an understanding of it, helped you with your day-to-day life, man?
Yeah, it's a big question. Well, I think the first thing that we should recognize is emotional intelligence, and getting, I guess, enhancing your emotional intelligence is not as easy as most people think.
Right.
And if it was an easy thing, most people would be good at emotional intelligence.
Right.
Emotional intelligence, I think, is critical to whatever job you do. You're always talking to other folks, usually. But especially when you're on a team, emotional intelligence is going to be critical to making sure things are going right. I mean, if you are not as self-aware and you're doing things that just, make people upset,
right,
frustrate people, and you don't see it, then it can really throw off the dynamic of a good team.
Right.
And I've personally seen it on teams. I've unintentionally been a person that maybe wasn't exercising emotional intelligence, and I've affected a team. So I think one of the most interesting things, I think there's this book I'm reading, I think it's called Great Leaders Have No Rules. But it basically says in the book that influence is not really a choice.
Right.
Like how you present yourself in the workplace is going to inherently influence everyone around you. So one thing that I know that I've done before is where if you walk into the workplace, you're looking really serious.
Right.
You're looking almost like angry. People perceive it. People kind of vibe off of that, you know? So it's one thing to be able to go into an office and have a more positive, a positive perception or a positive approach to things, because that may actually help people,
right,
during a normal workday. So how we manage our emotions and how we choose to approach other people's disposition and their emotions can really affect a team, and it can make a team really great, or it can make a team not that great.
Think about this. He's mentioning team, our day job, work, wingman, how we walk into an office, right?
Yeah.
So you set the tone. Imagine being in charge of an office, and like he mentioned, you walk in and you just rah, 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 you walk in barking.
Yeah.
What's the expectation you have of your people? That literally is going to funnel down to the lowest ranking individual, or the person probably even sweeping a hallway, someone who might not even be inside your room, because it's a vibe that carries, man. Yeah. I want to cover this real quick. Self-regulation, understanding who you are, knowing who you are, internal motivation. And I mentioned this yesterday. You can't motivate other people if you can't motivate yourself.
Yes.
How am I going to get on the radio every Saturday talking about positive vibes and I'm negative all week?
Yeah.
Can't do it. Don't snitch on me. You can't do it. So you have to be able to motivate yourself. And I sent another post on my story today on Facebook, man. I was talking about, hey, run your own race, man. I'm motivated to run my race, and I will root you on. And Dave, you know me. If I see you running, hey, go get them, man.
Yeah.
Go chomp it down.
Right.
Empathy. The one thing that I think, and it's not just with our day job, it's all over, man. the lack of empathy, even in relationships, not being able to empathize. And we say people don't really understand what empathy means. Empathy does not mean, all right, she's a girl, so I need to understand how to be a girl. He's a guy, I need to understand how to be a guy. He's a officer, so I need to understand how to be an officer. No, it's being able to understand how to meet someone where they're at emotionally.
Yeah.
When it comes to emotional intelligence, we have this story now, and we mentioned it on the Wounded Warrior page. Dave, is the coolest thing. The movie Inside Out. Mm-hmm. Again, Wounded Warrior team, thank you for letting us share that with you guys, of course. Inside Out, Bing Bong. Did you see that part? Bing Bong, the cartoon character, looks like an elephant?
No.
Okay, so Bing Bong loses his wagon over a hill.
Okay.
Bing Bong's real upset, brother. He's like, oh, man. The wagon was his best friend, took the wagon everywhere. So when the magic wagon goes over the hill, Bing Bong's out the game. So Happiness, Inside Out, all about feelings. Each one of the characters represents a different feeling. So Happiness comes, Bing Bong, hey, let's go, Kay, let's go, woohoo, right? Bing Bong, hey, whoa, let's go, pick your head up, let's go, baby. He wasn't feeling, But then Sadness comes. I'm going to tell y'all how this played out because it was beautiful. I love this part of the movie. I love when my kids are watching this because Sadness comes up. And you know what she did? She said, hey, I know you love that wagon. I know that wagon meant a lot to you. I hate to see it go over the hill. Bing Bong starts saying, yeah, we've been through so much together. And he opens up.
Yeah.
Not because he couldn't get happy with Happiness, but because Happiness isn't where he was. You see, Sadness had to come down. So if Happiness would have came down and met him somewhere in between to try to be on his level, to have a conversation. I can't come to you from up here and talk to you down here. I got to come to where you are and meet you somewhere emotionally to where we can have an open conversation.
Right.
And that was so beautiful to me to watch that. Out of the whole movie, that's the one part, I promise you, that sticks out every time. So to talk about emotional intelligence with the team and the importance of the Air Force Wounded Warrior Wellness and Resiliency Team, the beauty of it is that that's what we do. And that's what they do day in and day out. No matter what folks are going through, they meet them where they're at with their challenges, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. They meet them. We had a blessed opportunity yesterday to share physical resilience. You can't minimize the importance of resiliency across the board. And that word is not a DCS, a training video. It's every one of those components makes us who we are. So when the Wounded Warrior team invited us to come and have these conversations and discussions, it's so important that when we go out there, we're able to reach people and meet people where they're at. In a leadership position, in a leadership/followership position, which we both rotate back and forth with every day, we have to understand those things. Social skills is another component of emotional intelligence. Dave, without me even saying, why are social skills important when it comes to relationships, not only at work, but at home?
At home?
Yeah.
Relationships?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I guess how you probably treat everyone at the workplace or just on a day-to-day basis is probably an indicator of how you might treat the people you love. So obviously social skills are, instrumental to like everything that you do.
Right.
Right? Because you're not going to live life just by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Understanding people. Right?
Yes. That's hard.
Having to walk in the room and just talk to people openly. And they will tell you, I don't care. I don't care what job you are, who you are, what you do. I'm going to try to have a conversation because you know what that does? And I think I mentioned that earlier. I'm going to get a vibe off you. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a negative or a positive vibe. So if I get a negative vibe, I might approach you differently the next time. He was mentioning someone earlier, and I was like, you know what, man? I might get that person benefit of the doubt, but the first time I dealt with him, I didn't get a good vibe.
Right.
It's real conversation. And vibes are everything because that's the start. That's how you start a conversation. That's how you start an intro. I'll tell y'all a secret. Me and Dave, first time we had a real conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
It started off with negative vibes because I didn't know which direction he was coming from.
Oh, and yeah? You thought I was a negative dude?
I was like, who is this guy? Yeah. But we sat down, we talked.
Yeah.
We had a real conversation. And you know what? When we have certain conversations with certain people in a certain situation, you might have a guard up. You might have a little wall. But it was like quickly, the wall chipped away. We both sat in the room. We were like, hey, man, you know what?
Yeah, what's crazy is I thought when I first met you, I was like, this guy's too positive. He's got to be aiming at something. I don't know what. But then, of course, you know, after talking to you, it's like, oh, he's just a positive dude. That's just your approach. I'm not as super outgoing like that, but but I do I like talking to people. I like having deep conversations with people. So I think that's kind of where our personalities kind of intersect. Right. So yeah, it was cool. But definitely, my first impression was like, I don't know what. Is he faking this? You know what I mean? So yeah,
I've heard that. Dave, remember I've heard that before. Yeah. He can't be that nice. There's no way he's that nice. There's something.
That is legit what I thought. That's when you run into so many different people, you know, sometimes you build walls. You do. You never know. So
next topic. Next week. Let's go. Breaking down emotional walls. No, I'm kidding. All jokes aside, man, social skills, empathy, knowing yourself, being able to motivate yourself. It sounds easy. Dave mentioned it a minute ago. These things are not easy. Every one of those components takes work. And that's just mentioning a few of them. And a part of the things that go into emotional intelligence. Major Nail really scientifically broke it down for the Wounded Warriors, talked about how our brain works, the fight or flight syndrome. And he mentioned another one that we don't mention most. Flight, fright, or freeze, right? And when he broke that down and how the brain works and how we internalize information, it was like, wow. So when you meet somebody and you have certain interactions, your brain is doing something chemically, and different parts of your brain are responding. So EQ, emotional intelligence, is an amazing topic because it goes down in so many directions, so many different opportunities to have discussions. So Air Force Wounded Warrior Wellness and Resiliency Team, the Air Force Wounded Warrior main page, thank you so much for supporting Team Kadena, our resiliency efforts, and for teaming up with us on the things that we have. Dave, I'll say this because we don't have a whole lot of time, man. My time with you, if I can do it all over again, it'd be the exact same thing. I'll spend more real time and try to make a few more memories with you, man. Like snorkeling, coming up, showing all his muscles.
Hey, I'm down.
So the thing is, we don't get this time back, right?
That's true.
And at the end of the day, wherever he goes next, how long before we meet and cross paths again? Yeah. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, 78.6 FM Yomatan. David De Niro, is there a shout out you want to give to the folks here in Okinawa listening before you leave us, man?
Yeah, I would say hopefully COVID goes away soon, or at least kind of dies down and you guys take advantage of traveling around this island. I would say even if you have nothing to do on any given day, just take a drive like up north. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you'll see. So
nice.
But shout outs to everyone that I've worked with. Nice. It's been a crazy awesome experience being able to be here on this island, and shout out to my girlfriend who I think is watching.
That's awesome. Hi, Dave's girlfriend, if you're watching. He's the best. Sorry we were goofy the first segment. That's my fault. I was trying to warm him up to the chair. Everybody, 78.6 FM Yomatan. Positive vibes will Winsome. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Back yourself. Like we just mentioned, learn how to motivate yourself if you can't do it, to get up and do those things that you know you need in your life, right? Inspire yourself. Do those things that you know you need to do daily. Get up and do something. Every day is important. Every day matters. You are loved. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
I was waiting for that.
Positive vibes of Winsome. See you next week.